wonder if anyone's going to join today. Should probably do a better job at announcing these, I think. Is anyone there? Hello. Anna, hi. I still gotta find a better time to do these. Like, can you guys give me like time recommendations from where you guys are? Because I don't know the best time to do these lives. So like, where are you guys at currently and what time is it where you guys are? Okay, got some people showing up, yay. Nathan Bliss, no, I'm not in Korea. I am in LA-ish right now. 5:16, oh yeah, so East Coast, yeah, back home. 4:16 in Jamaica, 23, that's 11 p.m. in Berlin. Oh, wow. Romania past 12 p.m. Yeah, I gotta find a better time to do these. But I also wanted to say, I think the next live I'm trying to plan is a Black Lives Matter fundraiser type of thing. I saw Whitney Bay and I was like, oh, I didn't know you could use Zoom to do like a massive group live thing. I didn't know you could, I've never used Zoom before. But yeah, I'm hoping to plan that in the next few days or so. But I'm trying to get other YouTubers on board. And the time differences is making everything a lot more difficult. Chicago, I've never been to Chicago. London, I really want to go to London. So do you guys have any questions about Korea or anything? $4:16 Central Time. Yeah, it's 2:17 for me, PM. Okay, Natalia Coffee? I can't read. When you went to Korea, what restaurant do you recommend to eat or little pub restaurants? Honestly, I am a huge fan of Sugogi and Samgyeopsal. So any of the places that are like all you can eat. There's this one in Hongdae. It's like nice meeting, or it's supposed to be like a pun for the word meet and like meeting a person. Yeah. I forgot what it's called, but it's in Hongdae and it's an all you can eat like samgyeopsal. Oh my God, it's amazing. You help yourself to all the lettuce wraps and all the fixings. And it's a one flat rate. The only thing is if you put too much on your plate, you get charged for what you don't finish. So I wouldn't do that. Daisy May, what are some good nightclubs? My favorite one in Itaewon is called Boom Bar because they don't smoke inside. So you can actually breathe and not have your hair smelling like cigarettes at the end of the day. And there's one in Hongdae that I always go to called Sabotage. It's more college frappy, like fraternity vibes, but the music never lets me down there. So those are probably my two favorite clubs. Ash, did you go to the dentist in Korea? I did not. Fun fact, I've actually never been to the dentist before, but they're on like every corner. You see like a giant tooth and it's like tweed something, but they're everywhere and it's very cheap because a few of my friends got their teeth pulled. Like my friends, they had started to get their wisdom teeth while they were in Korea and they had to get those pulled. But yeah, I've never been to the dentist. Comfort zone, how do you deal with the Korean guy's mood swings? I have a Korean friend and he's driving me crazy. Yeah, that's tough. Like if you if you guys saw the story time I did about trying to go to the firework festival, this dude was all like, cool, I'll come meet you. Everything was great. And then suddenly he was like, oh, you're blaming me for everything. And then he literally walked away from me and my friend. Honestly, I just let them have it out. And if they come back, they come back, but they usually don't. But yeah, I don't know with the mood swings. Sometimes even when you try to have them explain, I was just like, look, maybe culturally I don't understand, so can you try to explain it to me? And if they do, then that's great. If not, then they're probably a ghoster anyway. Okay, Daisy May. What are guys like in Korea? Do they date foreigners for experience or actually because they like you and want to be in a proper relationship with you? Obviously, well, guys aren't all guys aren't the same. Yeah, that's true. So I actually know two girls who are married to Korean guys and they're foreigners. One's from Puerto Rico and one's from the States, like the main 50 states. Um, it's funny because the Puerto Rican girl actually met him on Tinder and they became serious after a while. Like his parents started to embrace her. They have a daughter now and she's adorable. His English isn't the best, so I'm really curious how they're making that work. But yeah, I don't know. I think it depends where you meet them, honestly. Because I don't know, it's hard because I've had people who meet them in the club and they actually go on to be quite serious, but most of the time it doesn't end up working out that way. And then, like I said, my friend who met a guy on Tinder and now they're married with a child. So I think the younger they are, the more likely it's just for fun. And if they're older, they're probably a bit more serious, just like in any other country. Kimora Crawford, what is your opinion on a Black K-pop artist? I think that'd be pretty dope. We see it's not totally impossible. We've seen, I feel like if I think Alex Reed, I think if she spoke Korean, it probably would have been more like permanent. But also, I think they kind of did her wrong with the whole visa thing where she wasn't like allowed to perform with them and make money with them because of her visa. So I think it'd be really cool to see a Black K-pop artist since a lot of the K-pop music is Black music. So I think it'd be a bit more authentic too if they tried that approach. So that'd be pretty cool. um, and was there anything you were nervous about moving to Korea? Honestly, yeah, I was actually really nervous about North Korea because foreign media does a really good job at hyping up the fear and hyping up the danger, and they make you think like an attack is imminent. So I was going to Korea with like a 50% mindset that we may be bombed. So I was really nervous about that. But if Korean people around you are still chill, even when North Korea is saying some weird stuff, then I would just stay relaxed. I would only worry if other people around you are worrying. um, Sugar Soldier, they're not annoying with astrology like Americans are. They don't really do astrology so much. They do blood types. Like your blood type is supposed to say a lot about your personality. I actually don't know my blood type, so I don't know what that says, but a lot of people will go on a person's blood type to see how compatible they are with each other in Korea. So that's an interesting one. Margaret Jefferson, have you ever went to a jazz or blues club in Korea, like stepping out of your comfort zone, maybe? Yeah, I've actually gone to one jazz place. It was actually really cute because like they have like these swing nights. It was an Itaewon. Was it an Itaewon? Yeah, I think it was an Itaewon. And you can see them like couples like getting together and swing dancing and like they're professionals. I just sat down because I didn't want to get in the way. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, I've been to a jazz one before. Not blues though. I feel like I've heard blues music coming out from places in Itaewon, but I've never gone because we were trying to like turn up. Okay, Heidi Panito, does age matter when it comes to friendship? What's the age limit? I don't think so because honestly, even like on like online things or meetups that I've gone to, people are there as old as like 42 or as young as like 19. I don't think there's really, people aren't like, oh, you're too old to be my friend. I don't think that's really a thing in Korea because the older you are, the more like respected you are because age is like really respectful. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I think age is more respected, I think, in Korea than it is like in America, for example. Um, Daisy May, I'm really scared to move to Korea. Any tips to fit in? I know you don't have to speak Korean to get along well in Korea, but I would really encourage you to know how to read it at least. A lot of places will have it in Korean and then below it will be in English, but just in case it doesn't, at least get yourself familiar with like reading Korean. That's like, I think that would be like the basic thing. But also one of the things I like to do was watch a lot of like Korean movies and stuff just to be familiar culturally with, or like with entertainment things, like to be like, oh my God, I saw this movie too. That actually helped me a lot at work, breaking the ice with like a lot of other older teachers, because I didn't really get to work with people who were my age, unfortunately. So I feel like if you can talk more about things that are popular in Korea, that will probably help you blend in more. William Defis, favorite Korean food. I love mulnaengmyeon in the summer. Those are literally like ice noodles. I love kimchi jjigae when it's cold outside. I love samgyeopsal all the time. And I love kimchi bokkeumbap, which is like kimchi fried rice. Those are my favorites. Heidi Pinedo, any amazing spots to visit that are underrated, like hidden gems, or love hidden gems? Wouldn't say it's a hidden gem per se, but I really, really like Nami Island. I know people know about it, but like it's beautiful all year round. Like it's pretty in the summer because you can see like it's pretty all throughout the day. And then at night it gets cool, but you can still see like the waters glistening on the moonlight. It's pretty in the fall because the leaves are falling. It's pretty in the spring because of the cherry blossoms. Nami Island is probably one of my favorite places that I didn't realize how pretty it was until I actually got there. That was dope. William Defus, have you gone to Daejeon? Yeah, I had to go once for straight my legs. I had to go once for retraining because I moved to another province halfway through my 2 years in Korea and I had to train there again. So like every teacher with the TAL program in my province, we had to go to Daejeon for training. So yeah, I've been to Daejeon. It was actually bigger than I expected. I thought I was like in Incheon somewhere because Daejeon like physically is more central. So I didn't know that it, like not a coastal place has such a big city. Like I'm used to like Busan or Incheon or Seoul or Gwangju even, or Daegu. So I was really surprised. Masked underscore for life. How did you like Korea as a whole? I really do like Korea. I really like it there. Like obviously every place has its pros and cons. Like the only thing I really didn't like after a while is feeling like some foreign thing, some sort of like animal on display or at the zoo or something, because people would constantly just look at you like they're just and then I was really starting to get like to feel defeated when you meet someone and you guys hit it off and then suddenly they ghost. It's happened with like every Korean person I've ever met. So like after a while that can be a bit like defeating, but I really do like Korea overall. Like as soon as it's safe to travel again, I'll probably go back, like for sure. Spencer S, are you more of a wine, beer, or Seulji person? Well, I actually am allergic to beer. I found that out in college when I started to get hives. I can't drink beer because of the barley. Wine, I think I only drink when my friends want to drink wine. I prefer soju. I love soju. Like there's so many different flavors to try. It blends with everything. It's not really super harsh for me anyway. So yeah. Kiki Ava, which question do you get asked a lot about Korea? Probably dating. Most people are like, do foreigners like, or do Koreans like foreigners in Korea? What's it like being Black in Korea? Those are probably the two most common questions I get. I probably need to do like an updated video of like the Black experience in Korea because I only did one and that was 2 years ago. So I might redo another like part 2 video. Eve Castle, what places would you recommend visiting in Korea? This is gonna be cliche, but I loved Busan. I didn't get to spend more than like 3 days there, but it was beautiful. I loved seeing the mountains with the clouds peeking in and out. I love like the tall buildings and hotels on the mountains. I love Busan a lot. It's just I wish it wasn't so far from Seoul because my town was so small that we didn't even have the train. So a lot of people take the KTX because it's super fast. That wasn't an option for me. So I had to take like 3 different buses. I had to take a bus to Daejeon, and then Daejeon to Daegu, and then Daegu to Busan. Yeah, and the whole thing took me like 5 hours, I want to say, 4 or 5 hours, because I had to wait in between too. Yeah. Spencer asks, would you like to go to Hong Kong again? I would love to go to Hong Kong again. Like the next time I go though, I want to make sure it's not as hot as it was last time. Because I got this tattoo when I was in Hong Kong, and the plastic like seal they put on it, it was so hot that mine filled with sweat. It was not a good time. But I plan to absolutely go back to Hong Kong. I love it. I reminisce often about Hong Kong. I loved it there. Kamora Crawford, was bus transportation in Korea expensive? No. It's very cheap. The public bus, like to go from this street to that street, you stop your T-Money card and it's like $1, if that. But the bus, like the more coachy type of buses, like if you want to take a bus from Seoul to Busan, that was maybe like $20 or something. Yeah, definitely way cheaper. Valentina X, have you ever been to Japan? I have. I'm sad that I went before I was YouTubing, because I actually went in the summer of 2017 with my friend Carolina. We went for like August 12th until like the 20th or the 19th or something. And it was funny because the next full day we got there was an earthquake. And my friend was in the shower, so she didn't feel it. And at first I thought it was like a big truck driving by outside because the window started to shake. And I was just like, what is happening? So I Googled recent earthquakes and saw that we had like a 5.0. And I was like, oh my God, it's only my second ever earthquake. But yeah, I love Japan too. We got lucky because we went in the middle of summer, and it just so happened to be really cool that week. But we went to where did we go? We went to this anime museum. We went to the Imperial Palace because we're anime fans. We went to, what's it called? Akihabara? Yeah, that was dope. We had food. Funny story actually. We wanted to try, those like rotating sushi bars. So we went to get some sushi, and we saw that there was like a whole ass roach just on the conveyor belt making its rounds. So like when we freaked out, they decided to apologize and like not make us pay. But I wish I would have paid for that. Oh my God. But yeah, Japan was really, really nice. All right, let me get caught up on these questions. Miriam Chibaya, what can non-native speakers do in Korea? If you're talking about work, I would say, sadly, just teacher or military. Most people who go to Korea and speak English, like they get normal, or Korean, they get like normal jobs at restaurants or like a tutor, especially tutors. Actually, you can do that if you don't speak English or you don't speak Korean too. But for the most part, if you go there not as a Korean speaker, you're probably just going to be a teacher or in the military. But I'm not sure what you mean non-native speakers. Do you mean like non-native English or non-native Korean? Kiki Ava, do you like Hongdae? I don't like it as much as I used to, but I think that's because I'm getting older. Like, because Hongdae is Hongik Daehakyo, it's Hongik University, so most of the people there are like 20, 21, 18. And when I first got there, I was 23, so I was kind of in that age range, but I don't know, I don't really like clubbing in Hongdae as much. I like to go shopping there, and I like to go eating there, but that's pretty much it. Not so much clubbing. And plus, we went like every freaking weekend to Hongdae, so I'm kind of over it a little bit. Wait, where's a tiny Aaliyah? Oh my God, Aaliyah, like the singer? It's even spelled the same. How often do you see Black people? When you go to Itaewon, we're everywhere. Like because the military base, so you do see a lot of Black people there. In Seoul, you definitely will see them more often than if you're in like my rural town in Taean or in like Gangneung or any other small rural place. You really won't see any other foreigners. Most people who go to teach English flock to the big cities. So if you're in like a rural place, with the exception of the talk program, you probably won't see too many other people. But you do see Black people a lot in Itaewon. Like, and I always was like, oh, one of us. Like, I used to get excited. Daisy May, what universities are good for foreigners? The only one I know of that are, well, I don't really know that much about schools, but I know Yonsei University, because I think of Beyonce, Yonsei. That one has like a really good program for foreigners. Like they want foreigners in their school. Like it's more affordable than in like the rural areas because it's kind of a hassle and less convenient. So I know Yonsei University, Yonsei. Yonsei, y'all on this not black liquor. Yonsei, I know stop. Kiki Ava is, oh, go back up. Is Itaewon famous for having a lot of foreign people? That's what it's known for. Whenever you hear people, okay, Itaewon is, because there's a huge military base in Itaewon. So you see like all the ethnic foods in Itaewon. Like if you are craving something from your home, Itaewon's probably the place to go. That's where a lot of people shop. That's where a lot of clubs and bars are. And that's where a lot of Korean people who go, who want to like practice their English, or if they are really good at English, that's where they go. I like Itaewon. Oh, thank you. Emi Nafu. Is the N silent? Is it Dafu? I need to learn how to read. How was I an English teacher and I cannot read? Oh, see, Skyler, says Yonsei has a summer program for international students. So see, there you go. Like I remember, I actually did when I was clubbing in Itaewon and I filmed it, I met this girl. She was a foreigner too, and we were kind of like geeking on the DJ's awful set. And I just happened to see her like the next day too, because Gina Kim was having like a fundraiser for animal shelters. And she rented out this cafe and they made coffee and stuff. And she happened to show up and I was like, no way, like I saw you last weekend at Soap. And she was a student at Yonsei. She's back in the States now, but she was there for, I think, 6 months or so. She just came back in like January, I think. So yeah, I know she was talking about Yonsei a bit. Mary Hodge, how do you like the talk program? Would you recommend it? I'm very interested in it. I won the program because when you go to be a teacher, you work a lot. Like you don't get the chance to really travel or meet people. You don't get a lot of free time to like enjoy Korea. But the really dope thing about the talk program is it's meant for people to, it's talk and learn in Korea. So you're meant to experience and travel. So you only have to work like 15 hours a week. That's my bangs. You only have to work like 15 hours a week. It's advertised as an after school program, but you do end up teaching curriculum too. So you get paid less than like you would if you worked at a Hagwon. Like I made 1.6 million won a month, and some of my friends who worked at Hagwons made like 2.2 million, but it's still livable because they pay your rent. Like I never in Korea was like, oh, I'm broke, or oh no, I need to, I wish the 25th would come soon, like I'm broke. Like I was very comfortable financially in Korea. You get to play with the kids. You don't have to work as much. You get to travel and actually see stuff. That's why I was a little bummed about being in Jeju my first year there, because I had to pay for these flights to go back to the mainland and actually like experience more of Korea. So I love the talk program. I wish it was bigger than it is. I feel like they should try to expand in more cities. Even the POEs, the Province Office of Education in each province, would say that they want to expand the talk program and limit the EPIC program because we're cheaper. But yeah, I fully endorse the talk program. I'd do it again. Lazuli? Oh, I like that name. What does your username CC Lesson 3 mean? Okay, so let me tell you. So my birth name is Isis, but that freaks people out because they're like, oh, terrorist. So for a while, I've been using Isis backwards to make it CC. And I wanted to do it less than 3 because I wanted to do the less than symbol and the number 3 because it's a heart on the side, but I couldn't put a symbol. So I just spelled it out, CC less than 3, and then it rhymed. So I kind of just kept it. But yeah. Kiki Ava, are there many tall guys in Korea? Yeah, I think tall, I mean, but I'm 5'4", so I'm not really the tallest person, but I found myself looking up more often than not at other people. I think some of the shorter guys were like 5'6", 5'7", but you had a lot of dudes who were like 6'2", 5'11", 5'10", like normal tall heights. Um, Giselle, Giselle, have you ever seen Hispanics in Korea? Yeah, I met a few clubbing. One of her name's Tanya. She's from LA, but she's Mexican. She is the sweetest girl, and I really miss her. Actually, I haven't seen her since like November. But yeah, there's plenty. My friend Haiti, I met her clubbing. But yeah, she's from Honduras, but she became an American citizen, and now she teaches at a Hagwon. Yeah, there's definitely a lot. I meet everybody clubbing. Um, Leonie Hibbert, is there any different jobs other than teaching and modeling? Maybe a tutor, or like if you speak the language, you could get like a normal job. But if you don't have a degree, it's not going to be very likely to get a work visa in Korea unless you work some sort of like under the table. One thing I know a lot of foreigners like to do is they work at guest houses and hostels. The pay is not great, but they let you stay there for free, and they cover like very minimal basic meals. But you see a lot of those ads on Craigslist where it's very unofficial. And, like even when I used to go to Seoul, especially like the first like year when I would fly up to Seoul and have to stay at different guest houses, I saw a lot of different foreigners who worked there. And that was their job. They clean, they, check in a lot of guests, because most people who stay at hostels, and especially in Seoul, are foreigners. So that's something you could look into if you don't mind a bit of a struggle. I mean, you can experience Korea. Maybe you can get more than one job at different hostels, but for the most part, yeah, the pay was not very good. It'd be like 150,000 won a month, which is like $150 US a month, but they let you stay at the place for free, and you get like 3 meals a day. Let me scroll back up. I've talked too much and these questions pass me by. Me Dodo, best/worst experiences with racism in Korea. Okay, personally, because like I've seen stuff happen to my friends before that was like racially awkward. But for me personally, the worst thing, this was in 2018. I was at the ATM and I had to transfer money to my boyfriend at the time. And I never transferred money, so I was kind of struggling, even though the machines, you can hit English. So it was in English, I'm just slow. So I was in the line kind of holding it up, and I had Senegalese twists in because, when it's summer, you want to twist up, braid up your hair or whatever. And this old man was behind me, and I'm like looking around, like feeling bad that I'm holding up this line. He just grabbed one of my twists and just like pulled it really hard. And I just like held my head, and he just calmly walked away. I don't know what that was about, but I'm just like looking around to see if anybody else saw that, and everybody's just, I ain't see nothing. That ATM free? That was awful. That was really bad. And then one of my friends, we were in the subway and going to the bathroom in Itaewon, and this old lady cleaning the bathrooms were like fascinated with her braids and started to touch them. Mind you, she's cleaning the toilets. And my friend, she was like, oh, okay, like stop. But yeah, that happened. As far as best, I think the coolest thing was when a woman decided to step in because things were awkward with us. And she was like, are you, she was a Korean woman. She was like, are you their friend? He said, no, we're new friends. She said, you should stop. Like, you should stop now. And we're all just like, because Korean people don't step up, like they don't intervene. That's not a common thing to happen. So we were pleasantly surprised. That was probably the most racially welcoming I felt. She even said, I am in English to us. She said, I am so sorry. And then she got off, and that was it. Yeah. Oh, Dafu. Enjoy your Q&A session. Bye for now. Going to run some errands. Thanks for tuning in. I'll try to do this every Friday. Sorry about that. Yeah, it was awkward. Okay, Skyler, when you did talk, did you get insurance and stuff covered for you through the program, or did you have to sign up for insurance and visa stuff on your own? So that's the cool thing. When people need these teachers, they try to make it like as easy as possible in Korea. Like they helped me. I mean, back home, of course, I had to like apply and go to the embassy and all that stuff. But when I got to Korea, they helped me get my ARC, alien registration card. They literally, it's like a field trip sort of. When we were all in this talk program, we all went to like this conference room, and this guy from like the immigration office near Daegu came over and like gave us our checkbooks. We helped set up our checking accounts. He gave us our insurance information. They just told us where to sign. They gave us our ARCs. They said it should be in the mail when you get your address. It was really, really easy. Like we didn't have to do anything. They pretty much do everything for you in the talk program. The only thing you have to do on your own, which I didn't do, and I don't know how I got away with this, there's like a pension you have to pay into, which is kind of like taxes, sort of. And you're supposed to sign up through your school. Now, I got the papers from my mentor teacher, and she said, I signed it. She said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. So I was like, cool, thanks. And I noticed I was still getting my solid 16 or 1.6 million won a month. And my friends are like, dang, I just lost $150 this month, or I lost $40 this month. I'm like, for what? And they're like, the pension. I'm like, I'm not losing that. What? And the thing is, when you leave the country, based on your nationality, you're able to get that refunded back to you. So it wasn't really a loss because you get it back anyway, but I never had to pay that. And that was the only thing that you're like responsible for setting up. But the talk program, they do everything. They make sure your immigration stuff's up to date. They make sure your housing's up to date. You have to pay your own utilities. They pay your rent. I love the talk program. Chima Sandeed. My dream is to live in Korea and have a Korean apartment. So please tell me your opinion about Korean apartments and what are the things that changed the most in going to live there. So Korean apartments. My very first one was tiny. It was very much like a dorm room with a kitchen. And I even only had like a mini fridge. And there are like a few differences between like apartments in the States and apartments in Korea. For one, most apartments in Korea don't have a dryer. Like you have a washing machine, but then you hang your clothes to dry. Sometimes you have access to your roof where you can have it to dry on your roof. Sometimes, like I like the setup in my second kitchen because there was like a wire at the top, sort of like a clothespin, and I had this crank where I could just lower it and hang my clothes over there, open the windows, and they dry so much faster. Also, with like cooking, my first apartment, I had a stove and an oven. My second apartment, I only had two little burners, and you have to like turn your gas on and off and make sure you don't forget to turn it off because that's expensive and it's dangerous. Another major difference is like with the hot water, you have to like actively turn on your hot water before you use it. You can't just like flip the knob and expect hot water to come out. You have to actually like turn it on, and don't forget to turn it off because that gets expensive. And then in the winter, the main heating system is an ondol, which is like the floor gets hot. So it's actually really nice. Like when it was really cold to just like lay or sit on the floor, I actually really did like that. You don't have to worry about a key usually because you just have to type in your entry at the door. The only thing is rent in Korea is, depending on where you are, obviously, it's mostly affordable. It's just the deposit to move in is a lot. So that's why a lot of schools will pay for it for you because you have to put down like $5,000, $10,000 and up, but depending on the neighborhood and how nice it is, because Korean laws make it a lot harder to evict someone. So that's like insurance for the landlord. Like if you don't want to pay rent and you don't want to move out when you're supposed to, then I'm going to keep this $10,000 you gave me, that sort of thing. So it depends on where you live and how you get means to get an apartment in Korea. But for the most part, schools pay for it and they're pretty nice. They're cute and cozy. You can go to Daiso and buy all sorts of cute accessories and make it nice and just feel at home. I liked my apartment in Taeyeon better because it was just a one-bedroom apartment. I had a living room, a bathroom, I had a full kitchen, I had a nice washing machine, I had a great view with a lot of windows. Mosquitoes kept getting in both of my apartments. I don't know how, because I don't really open my windows that much. But also in the bathroom, the thing that took me getting used to is like your whole bathroom is like the shower. Like in America, we have like a tub that we stand in and the shower water only gets in the tub. But in Korea, a lot of the bathrooms have like a drain that follows on the floor under the sink. So like your whole floor is your shower. So that was an interesting thing. You have like a shower head that hangs up and your toilet might get wet. So I tend to leave it open so like mold wouldn't form, because mold is another thing that's really common in Korea. Okay, Kiki Ava, will you do more vlogs in the future? For sure. It's just, we've been on lockdown and travel's been limited. Corona's been rampant. So I haven't been able to vlog and be out as much, but I definitely plan to. Princess Lele, can foreigners that don't know Korean be a model? I think so, but I've seen foreign models in Korea, but they're usually big elsewhere. Like they're big abroad and they also model in Korea. Or I've seen like amateur modeling sort of from like really pretty teachers. Like there's actually been, I remember in the talk program when we had our orientation, they sat us down and told us, wow, you could be famous here. They had a few talk scholars who were like scouted into modeling, but they did learn a bit of Korean to make it more like easy. So I'm not fully sure what your Korean skill has to be. It also helps though, depending on your agency, like they might be foreigners or people who are interested or comfortable speaking English, because English is a business language. So it's definitely possible. It's just, it depends on the type of level of modeling you want to ascend to. Yeah. Toby Yume, did you ever meet or see someone famous person in Korea? I've seen a few people, but I've never met them. Like don't hate me. I don't know the Twice members' names. I think one was Nayan, and I don't know the other one, but I saw them outside of JYP. I saw some guy in Gangnam that girls were freaking out and gathering around. I don't know who he was. I saw Minho when he performed at Gabia one night randomly. He was very drunk. Yo, he was just leaning on his banister, just looking at, like, scouting over the audience, like, and we're like, who is that dude? Just because it was dark, and we're just like, who is he? And we were actually lucky because there were creeps we were trying to get away from. So we were getting closer and closer to the front to try and get away from them. Next thing you know, we're right in front of this like stage in Gabia. Gabia was that club that Sukuni owned. And I'm mad because Gabby actually used to be lit, but he's a pervert, so we can't go there anymore. But yeah, then the spotlight came on suddenly and Minho started performing, and yeah. I've seen DPR live 3 times. I've seen Dean once. I almost met him when I went clubbing, but my tonsillitis was acting up, so I went home, and then my friend told me, oh my God, Dean's here. I was so hurt. And she wasn't even a fan of Dean, but she was there. He was at Soap Clubbing, and I missed it. And then Park Jimin, not from BTS, but the girl under JYP, she performed at Soap one time. So yeah, it's not hard to see them. Like they kind of pop up everywhere. They do promotions all over. Sometimes they're just at like the convenience store or Olive Young. But meeting them, no, I've never met one and never met a famous person. I saw GOT7 once too. They came to Jeju to perform. That was really nice. Tanisha Collins, who was your favorite student while teaching? I know you're not supposed to have favorites, but I definitely had a few. I remember in my first school, there was this girl named Danye. She had this cute short haircut and these bangs. She was always so spunky, and she loved BTS. Like whenever we played a game like Kahoot or something, and they had to have a team name, if she was on their team, their name was Bangtan, BTS for life, BTS boys. Just she loved them, and she was always like, you know, like there's some kids who are just really interested in foreigners, like because they're genuinely curious. So she would hang around after school and be like, teacher, do you know this? And teacher, do you like that? And try to give me candy and snacks. She was the sweetest girl. She was a 5th grader. I also had this kid named, I can't remember his name. Oh no. He was another 5th grader, but he was more infamous. Like he was very mischievous, but not in an annoying way. Like he was really funny. He was really playful and upbeat, and he's going to be a politician one day for sure. And then honestly, it's weird because I taught at 3 different schools, and at all 3 schools, my 3rd grade and my 5th grade were my favorites. I didn't really bond with the 4th graders. The 6th graders, they acted like they were grown already. I don't know what it was. And then there was this 3rd grade boy I taught, and that convinced me that when I do have kids, I want a son. Nothing against girls. I'm a girl, but I really want a son. He was the sweetest boy. He had these curly hair. He would cry easily and then smile just as easy the next minute. And I remember he came to school one day with this scarf wrapped around his head. It's like, teacher, namaste. And I was like, what are you doing? But yeah, those are some of my favorite kids. Like there was another fifth grader named Jabin, and he was obsessed with Black Panther and Wakanda, and always had teacher Wakanda forever every day. I'm like, yeah, forever, okay. He was like the first kid to wish me happy birthday on my birthday. Some of them write you notes on Teachers Day. Yeah, I really enjoyed my kids a lot. Kamora Crawford, what are all the grades that you teach? Well, I taught third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and sixth grade. That was it. Mm, Lonnie, hey, sorry, I'm scrolling back up. Hey, so like I'm actually black and white, so I'm mixed. I have very light skin, but I'm not white. It's just very light. How do you think I'll get treated in Korea? I think the same as any foreigner. Like I don't see people in Korea like discriminate or treat foreigners too different based on where you come from. It's kind of like a Korean versus non-Korean thing. Like even if you're Chinese, they kind of look at you like a different way. So I don't think if you are have darker skin or lighter skin, they really treat you any different. I think they still like whenever you see stuff that says like no foreigners, it just says no foreigners. It won't say like no African foreigners or no Muslim foreigners or no dark skinned foreigners. It's just I think all foreigners kind of get lumped together in a sense, unless you're like a Gyopo, which is like a Korean who wasn't born in Korea. So I think that's the only real time there'd be any different treatment. Chantel A, did you see the Black Lives Matter protest in Korea? I sure did. A few of my friends were like tagging me and they're like, girl, I wish you was here. And oh my God, they marching for us. I'm like, oh, that's what's up. I saw the little kids saying with signs, it's like, I stand for you and I support you. And I'm not surprised, especially with the kids, especially because I know a lot of them have Black teachers and foreign teachers and they love us. So I wasn't really too surprised. That was really nice to see from the adults though, because like I said, Korean people tend to mind their business, like not in a I don't care way, but kind of in a just I don't know what to do way. It's weird. Like I've seen people passed out on the subway and they know they need help, but they're just like, it's okay. And they need to go back to being in their phones. Oh, this is a good one. Linacia Coots. Hi, what months are the best time to visit Korea? Girl. Okay, so summers in Korea are brutal. Like from June, July, and August, you're gonna be miserable. It's and then there's Changma, the rainy season, and that lasts usually like it starts in July and goes usually for most of July. My favorite months that I would love to recommend to people is April or October because in April you can see the beautiful cherry blossoms. It's warm, but it's not really hot yet, and it's still cool at night. And then October, things are cooling down. You can see the pretty leaves falling everywhere. Those are April and October are my favorite times to travel. But the only thing is in April, because Korea has a problem with the yellow dust, like yellow pollution seasons and stuff. So April is kind of bad for that. But if you're willing to wear your mask and and ignore that part, then April and October I would recommend the most. Toby Yume, you lived in Korea. Have you never tried to go to a fan meeting? LOL. That's the thing. When you're a teacher, you don't really have time to do that. A lot of those fan meeting stuff take place during the week. Um, and they're really crowded. And I didn't even know all this stuff that you have to do to meet the requirements to go to these types of events and everything. One of my friends, Carolina, she was a huge EXO fan. And I remember she had like 60 copies of the album, but then she couldn't find a glow stick and she wasn't allowed to go to some sort of event because she couldn't find a glow stick. It was sold out everywhere. I didn't know you had to have like a checklist to do some of this stuff, but I've never gone. A lot of those happen on like Tuesdays, the music banks are on like Thursdays, and when you're a teacher, you're working. So I've never done any of that. Caitlin Booth, what's it like trying to make friends in Korea? Do you reply more on apps or meeting people in person? Is it easy to make friends? Um, Honestly, I met a few good people on like Hello Talk because they're there to try and learn English. But then a lot of them say, "Oh, I just want to make friends," but then it turns into so ramen and chill type of thing. I I like to meet people in person if they're foreigners. If they're Korean, I try to stick with online stuff because a lot of them will also try to pretend that they can speak English and they'll copy and paste or translate. And you can tell when the wording is unnatural if they actually speak English or if they're using a translator. But when you're in a country, when you're with a lot of people who don't speak your language, it's just easier to vet them a bit using online apps. So that's kind of what I prefer. Foreigners, we meet at the clubs, we meet at cafes, we meet shopping. It's so easy to make other foreigner friends because you're all in the same boat. You want people to share this experience with, but when you're trying to make native friends like Koreans around you, I would prefer apps, definitely. Toby Human because of a glow stick? Wow, yeah. It's like, it is strict. I didn't know it was like that. I thought I'm gonna be in Korea. I'll have like some free time on a Saturday morning. I can go. It's not how it works. You gotta join these fan clubs. Some of them have like membership fees. I did not know that. It's crazy. Kiki Ava, how long did you have to sit in a flight to Korea? Well, the first time I flew to Korea was from Baltimore. So I had to go from Baltimore to Chicago, and that was like 2.5 hours. And then Chicago to Shanghai, that was like 11 or 12 hours. And then I had a 13-hour layover, so I got a hotel. And then I flew from Shanghai to Busan, and that was only like an hour and a half. It's a long time. Oh my God. Um, See some more questions. I'm gonna scroll up a bit. Okay, Thalia. Hey Isis, how easy is it to get concert tickets in Korea? It's actually really easy. I would say because they have like a lot of like ticket sites that are actually translated in Korean or translated in English, but some of those update later. So it's really good if you have a friend or know a friend who speak Korean really well because the Korean sites will work way faster. Like when I tried to get the concert tickets to go see Dean and DPR live at that NBA buzzer beat, the English website said like data coming soon. But my friend who I went to the concert with, she understood Korean pretty well, so she got the tickets for us. And by the time it was ready in English, it was already gone. I was like, what? So I'm glad I listened to her and she got the tickets for us. But it depends on the sites you use too, because for some reason it takes a while to update in English. In my experience, I don't know, that was weird. But I've only paid to go see them. Like I've never gone to any other concerts where I had to pay. Sometimes I've seen just pop-up performances, which is pretty dope. But yeah. Skyler, did you use Tracy at all? Like, I know it's supposed to have like activities and stuff, other things, but do you actually recommend it? So I actually went on a trip, was it like mid-November? They sponsored the trip because I made a video about it and I went on a K-drama sightseeing tour. So it was actually pretty fun. I went alone, so I think I would have had more fun if I went with a friend, but they all had to work and I was just YouTubing. So it was kind of a rainy, cool day. And it was cute because it was this woman who was visiting from Australia and she was way into Korean dramas. So she had her son with her and her sister. And she's like, oh my gosh, this is where they filmed Goblin. So like we walked around near the Gyeongbokgung Palace. And actually we did a lot. Okay, let me see if I can remember where it started. I made a video about it too if y'all want to see that. First, we walked around to where they filmed some dramas. Like mostly a lot of it was Goblin, Dokebi. Then we went to take like a lunch break and we walked around. Don't remember what that was called. I'm bad. I don't remember what that was called. But like whenever a drama was filmed there, she would like have these like little like screen grabs and hold it up and read about the drama, like the airs, Dokebi, Playful Kiss. I can't remember the other ones, but yeah. And then we went to Namsan Tower, and it was really foggy at first, but it started to clear. But they paid for you to go to the top of the tower to take your pictures there, to go around to see where music videos were shot. And then it ended with us on a Han River cruise, and it was very cold, but it was still really beautiful. The moon was full. They played music. It was like you could eat there, and they showed all sorts of clips and stuff. So that was the only crazy tour I went on. But actually, it really wasn't that bad. I'm not sure how much it would have cost because I got to do it for free since I was like filming the whole thing. But it was actually more fun than I expected. I just know I would have had more fun if I had my own friends with me. Leonie Hibbert, how would you go around Korea if you don't know the language? Honestly, a lot of the people who started to teach with me didn't actually know Korean. They didn't know how to read it, and they got around pretty good. Like, Naver is a really good translator, Naver. But a lot of stuff that's in Korean, it's in English too. It's weird. Like, even in the countryside, you'll see a sign that'll say in Korean like Dongdae, and then below it, it'll say it spelled out in English. I wouldn't advise necessarily asking Koreans for help because they're scared to talk to foreigners because they're shy about their English skills. But it's actually, there's a lot of apps that are in English. There's like KCAL maps, Naver maps, and a lot of it is translated. Literally, there's like your highlighted route, so it shows you where to go and what you'll see when you turn right. It's really good. I went knowing how to read Korean and understanding basic Korean, but I know a lot of people who went there couldn't even say my name is in Korean. So you really don't need it. It's pretty cool. Skyler, did you go to Lotte World? I went twice. The first time was actually right after I got back from Japan in 2017, and it was really hot and really crowded. The second time, I actually did a vlogged date video, and we went in like October, and it was really cool to see they had it all decorated for Halloween. So like they had, for some reason, foreigners are always dressed up like scary zombies, only foreigners, and they like jump out at you and everything. The weather was perfect. Yeah, I like Lotte World. It's really small, but I like it. Shaya's freshman. It's easy for native English speakers, but it seems for native Spanish speakers. But is it easy for native Spanish speakers? I honestly don't know. I've never met a native Spanish speaker in Korea because I know a lot of them are there as teachers. So that means English has to be their native language. I haven't met too many tourists who wasn't either a student or a teacher. I know like a few people who speak Spanish and English, but they're better at English than Spanish. So I'm not really sure, but I don't think, it seems like honestly, a lot of Korean people are interested in Spanish too. Especially you see so many songs coming out like Adios and the other Adios and that SF9 song. I forgot. But yeah, I don't think it's too difficult but I will say I've never seen a sign translated in Spanish. Everything is either like Korean, Chinese, Japanese, or English. That I will say for sure. Justina K, have you ever rented handbook? I have. I did it twice. First, we had to for our orientation experience. Like they give you a bit of like cultural lessons when you first get to Korea. And then I did it for fun. We had a long break from school during Chuseok. And when you go to the Gyeongbokgung Palace during Chuseok, it's free. And if you wear hanbok, you can just feel more cultured or whatever. So it's really common for people to wear hanboks and go to the palace. And you sometimes get to the palace for free if you're wearing a hanbok. And a lot of the like Korean people there were asking to take pictures of me, and my friends are like, "Can we get a picture?" We're like, "Okay," because they're like to see foreigners like appreciating their culture and stuff. So yeah, it was really nice. Toby Yume, is KCAL the main communication app there? I think so, but Line is also kind of popular. But I think Line is more popular in Japan. But I know a lot of people in Korea that use Line too. But I think KCAL is like the main one. Charlotte Crawley. Did you ever go to any idol-owned cafes? Any good? I went to an idol-owned restaurant, the one Henry. I think it was in Gangnam. It's like a Chinese noodle place or something. I went there. I really wanted to go to, I think it's Jimin's parents' cafe in Busan, but none of my friends wanted to go with me, so we didn't go. And I just told myself I'll probably go to Busan again in the future, and it just hasn't happened yet. But no, I haven't really gone to too many cafes that they own. I went to one restaurant though. Um, Dev Thalia, first time must do things in Korea slash Seoul. It's hard to recommend stuff without sounding too cliched. I think, I mean, I just love Han River, so I love to take walks around the river, bike around the river. It's fun to like get a tent and like camp out by the river. You can't, I don't know if you can stay overnight, but I know a lot of people like to sit there, enjoy the breeze, especially at night, and you hear all the people buskering and singing at night, and the lights are sparkling on the river. And a lot of people have like chimek, which is like chicken and beer, but I'm allergic to the beer part, so I'd have like chiju, chicken and soju, and like you play like games with your friends and stuff. That's probably one of my favorite things to do. Like even for my birthday, we went to Han River to have pizza and drink, and we just sat there for hours. That's probably one of my favorite things. um, Michaela Urena, girl, I want to go to Korea with you. Yeah, I gotta go back. It's been a while. November is the last time I was there. Skyler, did you take a picture with the I Soul You sign? I did. When I, the very first time I went to Seoul, actually, because I first got to Korea in early February, and I didn't get to go to Seoul until the end of March, which a lot of my friends, they try to like fly directly to Seoul so they could hang out in Seoul first before orientation. But I had to fly straight to Busan, so I didn't get the chance to go up there. So we went there, we kind of did all the cliche things, like we went clubbing, we went to the pubs, we went to Namsan Tower, we went to do some shopping, and we went to the I Soul You sign. It was right around the time when like the cherry blossoms were out too. So that was actually really nice. Kiki Ava, best place to take pictures. Literally all of Korea is meant for you to take photographs. Like you'll be on a random street corner and you'll look down and see a sticker that says photo zone, and you're like, what is here? And then you line it up and you're like, oh, that's actually a good shot. Everywhere is meant for you to do that. Like they have museums that are interactive for you to do that. The rivers, the buildings. There's so many cute cafes that are meant for you to take photos. It's crazy. All of Korea is Instagram friendly. um, aw. Um, okay, that's a good one. Jeffrey Lalane, what's your favorite Dean song? That's a tough one. Why did I pick this question? I think Pour Up. I think Pour Up is my favorite song. What if I'm down put up, but also like Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah, I think Bonnie and Clyde or Pour Up are probably my two favorite ones. Daisy May, do you have any tips for starting a YouTube channel? I really want to start a channel, but I'm really nervous and don't know where to start. I think here, my biggest regret about YouTube is that I didn't start as soon as I wanted to, because I like made a deal with myself. Like if I make it to Korea, I'm going to start YouTubing as soon as I get there. I'm going to start making these videos. And I started to make excuses. I was like, I don't have a camera. I don't know what to talk about. I'm shy. No one's going to want to hear me. And I literally started with my phone and a selfie stick for my first 3-4 months on YouTube. I would say to just start. Like what I do though is I like to write notes out in my phone. Like I'll have notes to make sure there are points that I want to make sure I specifically mention. And I don't know, like I feel like to just start, because you just have to see how you feel talking to a camera. Because even this still feels so weird, like just sitting here in my room, just talking and doing a Q&A and everything. But yeah, I would just start. That is my biggest regret, that I didn't just start as soon as I wanted to, because there were so many stories that were like fresh in my mind, so much that I wanted to say as soon as I got to Korea. And I just kind of let it go away because I wasted time. I was too nervous. But after a while, you start to get more comfortable with it. Like I could not imagine when I first started, when I sat there to do my first awkward YouTube video, that I'd be sitting here talking for an hour to my camera and to a chat over here. So you just have to get started. and do it. I mean, you find your own groove after a while. Like you find what you like instrumentals in the background or intros and outros. You just kind of find what sticks after a while. It's really cool though. When you brought your camera, was it cheaper in Korea? I actually ordered my camera from Japan. I used eBay. I got, let's do this real quick. I got the Canon G7X Mark II. And the only reason I got the Mark II instead of the Mark I is because I knew I wanted to do vlogs. And the cool thing about this is, hold on, so you can actually charge it like with a battery bank on the go. So this is the only reason I got the Mark II. But I ordered it on eBay from Japan for like $500, $450, something like that. But yeah, it's still my favorite camera. It's still a pretty good one. I might invest in like the Mark III soon. I'm not sure, but that's still my go-to. Katie Allen, what were your expectations of Korea before you first went? Honestly, I didn't know that foreigners would be like so stared at. I didn't expect people to be so casual with English. Like you randomly hear people just speaking English. Like even if it's like a word or two, you hear it randomly. You're like, dude, stop. And I'm like, huh? And you see there are no foreigners. So like a Korean just said that. I think one of the biggest misconceptions, though, a lot of people watch dramas and then want to go to Korea. And I hope it goes without saying that dramas are nothing like real life in Korea. But I think that's like, I didn't expect to be stared at so much. And I didn't expect people to be so clubby and party all the time. Like literally 4 a.m. on a Tuesday, people are out drinking and clubbing and doing noraebang. I didn't know that much. Like I didn't know drinking and clubbing culture was so prevalent in Korea. That was probably my biggest shock. Labu Modwadia? What would you do differently if you were going to Korea for the first time again, if that makes sense? It does make sense. I think what I would do differently, I would probably try to start off engaging with people more often. Like I'm already really shy. I know that's hard to believe, but talking to a camera is really different than trying to communicate with other people. And I kind of like, whenever we had like group dinners, like everyone in our program, we would meet up on like Saturday nights or Friday nights to talk and hang out. And I don't think I engaged enough. So I think friends kind of came and went, especially in the first like 6 months I was there. So that's definitely something I'd do different. I would reach out more and try to not be so hesitant about stuff. Yeah. More often than not, I would just be like, oh, I'll see you guys next week or I'll see you guys next time. And I should have just went with them. DVNT lad. The family dynamics in dramas are pretty close. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, like I've only ever really interacted with one Korean family. My mentor teacher invited me to her house a few times. She has 2 daughters. They're really good at English. And they had their grandma live with them still, which I thought was interesting. It was like my mentor teacher, her husband, their 2 kids, and the grandma, and they all lived together. And the grandma would help take care of the house and everything. And it was actually her mother-in-law. Sorry, I got distracted. It was her mother-in-law. So they were pretty close too. CRM de la Femme. Have you ever met or are friends with Megan Bowen? I've seen her once. We went to a New Year's party at the end of 2018 and we were all at the same party. But in my mind, she's like this big YouTuber, but she's like, I'm just out with my fiance. I just want to enjoy the night. So I didn't say anything to her. I saw her. I didn't say anything. But that was the only time I ever saw her. I never spoke to her, never met her. I didn't want to be like, oh my God, I'm a fan, or oh my God, hi. She's like, I just kind of figured she probably wanted her space. Monet of cosplay, Agassi. I want to vacate in South Korea, probably Seoul. Do you recommend hostels or Airbnb? Hostels if you want to save money, Airbnb if you want some like luxury. The first time I went to Seoul, we got an Airbnb and it was a really nice apartment in Gangnam. Like it was like really tall ceilings, like these long, tall white drapes, and like it was all pretty small, but it was like very upscale, if that makes any sense. Like you saw this huge windows with this great view of Gangnam, and then you saw like everything was freshly painted. All the appliances in the kitchen were like metal, and then it had the stairs that went above to like an extra bedroom. It was really cute, and there was three of us, and we split like 300,000 won for it for just 2 days, but we didn't even really stay in there. Like it wasn't really worth it because we were out clubbing and sightseeing most of the time. Hostels are fun if you go with a group of friends too, because then you can all rent out the same room. Like if there's a hostel and there's like 3 beds in that room and you guys all take the one bed in the room, I think that would be fun too. We used to do that a lot because we found this one hostel that we used to it was our go-to in Hongdae. It was like bottle or das. I can't remember what it was called, but I wonder if I still have it in KCAL. But it was to the point we were on such like friendly terms with him that we would just be like, hey, we need 3 beds for the weekend. He's like, I got you. It was cash only, but it was only like $20 a night for the beds, and we used to like rent out the bunk beds. It was really fun. So it depends on what you want to do. If you plan to sightsee more, I would say just get a hostel. But if you want some luxury, Airbnb. Miriam Shabaya, what zodiac signs do you like besides Aries? Well, I am an Aries. I don't necessarily like Aries. I don't think I'm a proper Aries. I don't know. I'm not like the boss that we're supposed to be. I really like Capricorns, Virgos, and Libras, I think the most. Yeah. I think in my life, I don't really read too much into horoscopes and stuff, but if I ever were to notice a pattern, I get along really well with Virgos, Capricorns, and Libras, if that makes any sense. Skyler's asks, when you sign up with the US Embassy, is it in person or is it online? It's online. As soon as I got my passport and as soon as I had my like confirmed itinerary, I signed up on the website. Like I even got it was like a slip with all the instructions on how to do it. I can't remember, but yeah, it was definitely all online. I've never had to go to the embassy in Korea at all. Um, hey, you! Are you still working as an English teacher in Korea? I'm not sure why a lot of people think I'm still teaching or still in Korea, but I haven't taught in Korea since February of 2019, and I haven't been in Korea since November of 2019. I've been in the States, confined because of Corona, so I've not been able to really go anywhere else yet. But I was only supposed to be in LA for a visit to visit my friend Erin, who I met in Korea as teaching, but then it got really bad, so I was kind of scared to fly home, and I kind of always wanted to spend some time in LA, so here I am. But no, I'm not in Korea anymore, but I do plan to go back probably September-ish. Hopefully we'll be allowed to like travel more casually by then. Yeah. Um, oh, we're still doing pretty good. It's 117 people here. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me and listening to me talk for an hour and 8 minutes. um, try to get some more diverse questions here. Jeffrey Lalande, do you have tickets for the Bang Bang Con the live? No. I don't know what that is actually. No, I don't have any tickets for any sort of shows. um, oh, see, some people are like, oh, I'm a Virgo. What about Scorpio? I don't have anything against Scorpios. That's the thing. Like, I've just noticed patterns of getting along with certain people. There's not really any sign that I don't get along with. I'm not like, oh, they're a Pisces. We're not going to be friends. Like, I've never discounted someone because of their sign. I just notice when I meet people and I ask their birthday, they just so happen to be like one of those 3 signs. I'm like, how does this keep happening? But yeah. Daisy May, do you know if Yonsei does classes in English? They do. They definitely do because a lot of college kids have to take classes, or Korean college kids have to take classes in English, but also like classes like that caters to like media and marketing and business practice. Yeah, there's a lot of classes in English there. Abina, do you think a 26-year-old woman, a 26-year-old would still have in Korea, or would they feel too old, out of place? Well, I'm 27 and I was 26 the last time I was in Korea. I didn't feel out of place. I felt very comfortable still. I mean, most people don't know that I'm 27, but see, Korea's not like, oh, you're too old for this, or you can't hang with us, you're too old. Like, Korea's not like that. It's very respectful to people the older you are. So if anything, it's kind of fun to hear people, you can talk casually to people in Korean, but they have to talk polite to you when you're older. So I think that's kind of fun. PJs, do you know Malia from Malia and Jay? My friend Bria, I met her clubbing, and coincidentally, her lifelong best friend is Malia. Like, they grew up together. And the reason Bria got interested in going to Korea was because Malia studied there and they lived together in Seoul. So I've met her and hung out. Like, we've hung out, we've been in the same space, we know each other. We've never hung out like one-on-one or anything, but she's really cool. She was mostly busy working the last time I was there, but I've met her before, yeah. Um, Hey, you! Did you go to college? I like that name. Did you go to college? If so, what did you study? Did it help you secure a job as an English teacher abroad? I did go to college. I went to Rutgers University in New Jersey. I studied geology, and it had nothing to do with teaching English. That's the interesting thing. You can major in whatever, as long as you did school, they will accept you. Um, yeah, so you have to have a degree to teach abroad. It's one of the major requirements to getting a visa. Like, if you don't, then you're not going to get approved for a visa unless the school does some sort of illegal, backwards, under the table, don't tell nobody type of hiring. They can't sponsor your visa if you don't have a degree. But you can study whatever you want and still teach there. Yeah, that's a CRM de la Femme. Are you planning to do anything with the geology degree? I actually did not finish school. I took classes online while I was still in Korea, but I started to get too old for this loan that I relied on to pay for school. And I literally, out of 120 credits to graduate, I'm at like 94. I just haven't been able to afford to go back, but I don't plan to do anything with the geology degree if I ever do finish. That's the thing with the talk program. If you have at least your associates or you're enrolled in your bachelor's degree, then you can still teach with the talk program. That's the only exception. But I kind of lost my interest in geology as it went on because I wanted to study meteorology. I wanted to be a weather girl. That's been my thing since I was like 10. And I was talked into changing it to geology by one of my professors. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself, honestly. I still feel very just going with the flow. I don't really know anymore. Carrie Hunter, how easy is it to travel around Seoul, like transportation? It is mad easy. Like, everything has apps. You don't even have to talk to people to buy tickets anymore. Like, there's like a bus app for like if you want to take like a coach bus, like if you want to go from different cities, like Incheon to Seoul, Seoul to Gangneung, Gangneung to Busan, Gwangju, Daejeon, Daegu, whatever. And there's an app that when I used it wasn't translated in English, but you tend to get used to like the routine. You just sign up, pay, and then once they tell you like what gate to go to, what time to go to, and you just scan it on the bus and you can get right on. You don't even have to talk to anybody to ask them in struggle Korean, like, one ticket please to Daegu. You don't even have to do that. As for the like city public transportation buses and trains, again, you just fill up your T-Money card. You can do that at any convenience store. They have little stations in the subways you can do that. And you just scan it, go through the turnstile. It's really easy. And I feel really embarrassed that for the first 2 years I was in Korea, I did not take the trains by myself because I didn't know how to do it. I went to Korea from September to November, and I figured it out. Now I can do it easily. I'm like, I just didn't want it. Like, I didn't try hard enough. It's really easy. It's crazy easy. And if you ever take a wrong stop, you just got to get off the next one, go up the stairs and go over and then go back. It's really easy to get around and cheap. That's one thing about Korea that I love over Japan. Japan is too expensive to get around. XX Hannah XX3, or like the face, favorite show, like all time or at the moment? Because at the moment, I've been obsessing over 90 Day Fiance, but I still really like Running Man. And I think one of my favorite shows before it was canceled was 2 Days, One Night. I know it's not canceled. They started like the season 4 with the recasting, but I freaking loved that show so much. I loved Defcon, Kim Juno, Kim Jong Min, Cha Tae Hyung. Like, they were all amazing. They're dynamic. They were so funny to me. And I was just really mad at that dude for filming girls and being inappropriate and ruining the whole reputation of it. Let me not go down. I'm so upset. 2 Days, One Night, season 3 was like my favorite all time. Oh, Vina, thank you. Oh my God. Amina Senpai, have you ever gotten your hair done in Korea, or do you just wear wigs? I didn't wear a wig until September last year. So when I was in Korea, all my life, I did my own hair. Like, I still do my own hair, but I didn't wear wigs until I got offered one. It was in like September of last year. So when I was in Korea, I used to wear like clip-in extensions or like just my hair. I used to do these uncurly keratin treatments because the frizz is real. And the uncurly treatments is really so easy. Like, literally, you just have to like wash your hair with a very clarifying shampoo, let it dry, don't put any conditioner in. You put the treatment on, you don't saturate it too much, you flat iron your hair over each part as much as you can. And I used to do that, but when I got to Korea, I decided to do a Korean magic straight perm. And I got that done like 3 times at the same salon in Jeju called Kevin's Salon. And yeah, I did my own hair. But then when I decided to go blonde, I couldn't do the perms anymore because I would go bald. So yeah, I did my own hair. I only went to one salon in Korea. Freaking no neck Ed. He's a mess. I don't know how he made it onto that show. Lola Smith, is the talk program better than Epic? I don't know too much about the Epic program. I know they're sister programs. Like, I know they're very closely related. It's just with Epic, it's in like more city, urban areas, urban in Korea. But the talk program is only in like rural, small towns. Excuse me. So that's like the major difference. The pay isn't as much. You only work for elementary school in the talk program. It's projected to be like an after school program. But I've never really met too many Epic people, but it's very close to talk, except you work more, you get paid more, and you get to live in the city. Zakira Walker, is there a certain age you have to be to teach English with the talk program, or do you just have to have a degree? No, there's no age requirement. I think as long as you're under 65, I think as long as you have your degree, then you can teach. I've even met people in the talk program who are in like their 40s and 50s. So yeah, there's no requirement. But WASP is trying to get in. Skyler, when you were in Korea, did you try the places called a Tusum place? I did, but I'm not really a coffee person. Like, I would only go for like green tea or something. I went there a few times. Like, cafes are like often a meetup place. They're like, hey, meet me at a Tusum place and we'll go from there. Meet me at Starbucks, we'll go from there. There's some other cafes that were popular in Korea. Can't remember. There's like Tom and Tom's too, but yeah. Scarlett Reyes does associate's degree work. For the talk program, yes. For every other teaching situation in Korea, no. Only through the talk program. Yes, I will graduate with an associate's degree. Well, then you can apply to the talk program. You should do it. Oh, this is a good one. Amelia Valencia, how good was the pricing for nail salons? That depends on where you go. I had this go-to spot in Myeongdong. It's called Myeongdong Nail, I think. It's very simply put, but their English wasn't the best, but they were so sweet. The first time I went, we had other teachers who were like, hey, let's go get our nails done. And this girl got us all hooked. Like literally it became our go-to spot. And literally for like a gel set, from them for like basic gel is like 20,000 won, which is like 20 bucks. If you want to get like designs and glitter, I think the cheapest I ever paid was 20,000 won. The most I ever paid was like 75,000 won because I got like this acrylic or like magnetic, what's the word I'm looking for? Like that mirror reflection pattern ish. Like I used to get designs. Like for Christmas, I got like sparkles and snowflakes and stuff. It depends where you go though, because when I went to this nail salon in Jeju, that cost me like 160,000 won and it was not worth it. Don't get me wrong, that polish would not come off. Like literally it had to grow out and like it would be on my nails so long. It looked like I had fake nails that were just growing out. But it depends where you go, definitely. Like getting acrylics aren't as easy to find, but like gel polish, like in Itaewon, a plain set cost me like 40,000. That place in Myeongdong, a plain set cost me like 20. In Jeju, a plain set where I went would have cost me like 60. So it just depends where you go. But I love getting my nails done in Korea. Like I've gotten a few gels done here and it's not the same. It doesn't hit the same. Chrome, yes. The chrome color. Thank you, CRM de la Femme. Yeah, I used to get like that chrome material on my nails, like when I would paint it white. And oh, I love that color. Abby T, have you had any problems with native Koreans, like confrontations? No? I mean, aside from that old man who like pulled my twist and then just walked away, no. Never had any sort of like rude thing, discriminatory in my face or any confrontation, nothing like that. But I did, that night, I talked about this at a story time where me and my friends were supposed to go clubbing in Octagon, but I left my ID and my coat, and I left my coat at home, so I didn't go. My friends stayed, and they ended up may find their way back to Hongdae. And apparently, I woke up to all this drama. My friends were like, "Oh my God, you won't believe what happened last night!" And I'm like, "What happened?" So my friend allegedly broke another Korean girl's phone, and her boyfriend was trying to make her pay for it. The bouncers were trying to make her pay for it, but she swears, I mean, I did not break her phone. And it became a whole thing where they threatened to call the cops and everything. I missed all of that, but I haven't personally had any sort of like confrontation or alteration like that. Really, I don't want to be deported, please. I'm sorry. I'll pay for it. Amelia Valencia, is it hard to find bras in Korea? Sadly, I'm not the right person to ask for that. I'm like a solid A cup here. I've never had a problem finding a bra, but if you are more on the busty side, you might have some difficulty because even okay, I've done a few like collaborations with like skin clinics and beauty clinics and surgery places and stuff. Even when they get what they call like a D, I'm like, isn't that more like a C or it doesn't look like it's quite double D status or whatever. Their bras are quite small in Korea. I've never had a problem, but if you're more busty, you should probably try to order it online. Skyler, is it easy to get a Korean number? It's pretty easy. I'm just lazy. I I had a number for like a few months and I just never used it because apparently you need like a SIMS card and my phone wouldn't let me remove my old SIM card. And then I had to get my phone unlocked or something. So it's not hard. It just depends on your carrier, but it was very cheap and very affordable. I had it for only like a few months and I never used it again. And then I'm pretty sure it just expired or whatever. Blah, 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 blah. I love that name, Lazuli. What are the major differences you felt between Japan and Korea? Japan felt a lot more clean. People were a lot more polite. People mind their own business. Things were way more expensive. The air felt cleaner. Yeah, there was actually quite a few differences. Like in Japan, I felt very comfortable. I knew people weren't staring at me like they do in Korea. In Korea, you know, you get those bad smoggy air days. That really wasn't a thing in Japan. And I remember seeing people order straight lines for the bus. You didn't have to worry about ajima elbows hitting you in the rib to get on the bus. I think those were the major differences that stand out from Korea and Japan. Amelia Valencia, are Apple phones more common in Korea or Samsung? It's funny because you would think Samsung would be really common, right? But every time I went to try and find a case for my phone, everything was for iPhones. I'm like, but y'all make Samsung here. Like, can you cater to us, please? It sucks. But yeah, I think iPhones are actually way more common. You hear the ding 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 ding. You hear the phones ringing all the time. Michelle Holt, does your phone in Korea have to be in Korean or can you have it in English? Um, I've, I'm not, do you mean if you buy a new phone in Korea? Because you keep your phone to the language you speak. I've never had my phone not in English, but I had it before I went to Korea. But my friend Bria, she bought a phone in Korea and it was in English for her. So you can change it. Scarlett Reyes, have you met someone that has done the program? Oh, sorry, I can't read. Have you met someone that has kids that has done the program? Yes, there were actually a few people who had kids back home and they were like sending their extra money to them. There was this girl in South Africa or from South Africa. She had two kids back home. There was a girl from Canada who had a daughter. There was a couple actually who had their kids staying with her grandparents. So yeah, it's people come there as parents. They didn't bring their kids with them. They just had them back home though. I'm not sure how that would work if you came with a child and needed to like put them through school and stuff. I don't know if the schools would like sponsor all of that. Um, I think I'll go for like 20 more minutes if that's okay. I'm gonna try to stick this out though. Um, Vianney Ariola, what is the dress code in Gangnam? Pretty provocative. If you're a girl, you wear the shortest dress you can find. You wear the tightest dress you can find, low cut. You wear heels usually. For guys, pretty much anything. Like they wear jeans and like button ups or like skinny jeans and like a black shirt. Guys could definitely be wear whatever they want and be more comfortable than girls, which is really annoying. Yeah, for Gangnam for girls, you pretty much show as much skin as possible if you want to get in. I hate that it's that simple, but yeah, it's pretty much that's what it's like for girls. Um, Frank Mill, are you half Korean? I am no Korean. I don't have. I'm black. I don't have any Asian in me at all. Not that I know of. I'm pretty sure I don't. But no, I'm not half Korean. Amelia Valencia, how would you describe the Korean beauty standard? Hmm. I would say big eyes, as pale as possible, like the color of the wall, if possible. Skinny, petite, tall, and long hair. And you have to have the smallest pie face imaginable. That's like whenever you're walking around and you see the billboards, they all look the same. They have these big alien eyes, they have the smallest face. They usually have like a full pouty lip. They tend to have like straight, lighter eyebrows to make you look more young. Really skinny, like a size 2 or 0 in the States, and just white, like really, really white, like porcelain, like a ghost, like the wall. Toby Yumi, super important question. What was or is your favorite Tokyo Hotel song? Oh, that's tough. I think Sacred or Heilig or Rescue Me, but I also like Monsoon. Each monster said Monsoon. Hinter Bett, ans Ende der Zeit, das kann regen mit Fett. Yo, I used to love them. Oh my God, this is taking me back to like my teenage years. Yeah, I think Sacred, Rescue Me, or Monsoon are probably my favorites. Diane Royal, are you currently dating? Define dating. Like, do I have a boyfriend? No. I am very single in that regard, but I've been talking to someone since March, but we're just talking. So I don't know if you mean dating like official or dating like casual, but we're just talking. Amelia Valencia, do you know how much laser treatment costs in Korea? That's the thing with a lot of these clinics that kind of frustrated me. It depends on the place, but also they don't really like to tell you a price until they quote you in your specific case specifically. If you try to be like, hey, how much would this cost? And they're like, well, you got to come in so we can see. And I'm like, okay. Like, okay, probably shouldn't even be saying this, but I'm saying it anyway. So you guys remember when I did the vlogs about my first trip to like a Korean skincare clinic, and I went to get, what did I get done? I got some sort of like double O laser treatment. I got like contour shots in my face, and I got an aqua peel. So what's funny is the first time I went to this clinic, I wasn't really. Wait, was I YouTubing yet? Yeah, I think I was. I can't remember if I was doing YouTube yet or not, but I didn't have any sort of following yet. So I went there, just to see how it would go, to get my quote or whatever, my consultation. And they tried to charge because I had acne constantly popping up on my forehead. Like as soon as a pimple would go away, another one would come, and I had to get to the bottom of this. So they try to recommend I get the Agnes treatment, which is like they've removed this sebum or sebuscus gland or whatever. And that was going to cost me like, I think they quoted me like 640,000 won, which I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot. So what's funny is I said, yeah, I'm just going to go to the ATM and I'll be right back. So I went to the ATM and I called one of my friends who was like the beauty expert. She knows where to go to get the cheapest stuff done. She said, do not do that. It's way cheaper. They're only charging you more because you're a foreigner. I was like, oh, dang. So I never went back. Months later, they emailed me and said, hey, we found your YouTube channel and we wanted to know if you'd be interested in coming in for a treatment, and we'll pay for it if you vlog it. And they did not recognize, they didn't remember that I was the same person that like walked out because they tried to overcharge me. So that was interesting. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't recognize me because they never brought it up again. But they overcharge for English services. Like if they have to speak English to you, they charge more. They also charge more depending on how bad your skin is or how bad your situation is. It varies from place to place. It sucks. Nia Nikolaeva, Leva, can foreigners do part-time jobs with basic Korean? The thing is, when you do part-time jobs and stuff, you have to have a work visa sponsored. So it depends on if the place is willing to sponsor your visa. So it depends on the visa requirements, like where you're from, if you have a degree. You have like all these sort of check marks you have to make to be eligible for different visas. And it depends on the company if they're willing to sponsor that. Unless, again, it's some sort of backwards, under the table, illegal setup situation. Because I've met some people who work but don't really work, like not officially, where they're filing taxes and all that stuff. So it just depends. Yeah. Some places aren't really willing to sponsor your visa. Jacqueline Flickert, didn't know you are a Tokyo Hotel fan. Greetings from Germany. Oh, guten Tag. I tried to learn German a while ago. I need to get back into that. But yeah, I loved me some Tom Cowlitz back in the day. Zakira Walker, where do you recommend getting makeup from in Korea? I got all of my makeup from Olive Young for the most part, but if I needed to get something darker, there was literally only one MAC store in Apgujeong that had foundation shades. Like they had actual shades, because you can go to Etude House, um, Our Town, all these other places that have makeup Innisfree, and even when there's shades called deep, it is like the palm of my hand. I'm like, that is not a deep shade, my friend. Like, it's really hard to find makeup when you're darker. And I'm not even all that dark. It was hard for me to find makeup in Korea. But at Olive Young, I got all the cute like lipsticks and eyebrow tints, eyeliner. Olive Young was pretty much my go-to to get makeup. And it was always varied prices, where some stores are always expensive, and I'm not spending all that money. I like Etude House too for skincare stuff, not so much for makeup though. But I do get my eyebrow pencils these days from Etude House. Ba, 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 ba. Miriam Chibaya, I want to get into anime, but I don't know where to start. Oh boy, I love me some anime. It depends on the genre you like, I think. But I think one of my favorites still is like Steins Gate, or like, oh, I see Demon Slayer. Yeah, Demon Slayer was very, very good. I never watched One Punch Man because that's too long. I don't like really long ones. But if you want to be popular with your students, anime is a good place to start. Like, my kids kept trying to get me into Haikyuu, but I don't like sports anime so much. I like more like scary ones, psychological, thriller, comedy, slice of life. I could go in. um, Draco, why do K-pop singers say the N-word and still get no backlash? I've never heard a K-pop singer say the N-word. I know they say niga or nega, which means I or mine in Korean, but it's not like the N-word as we know it in English. And the few times I do remember hearing people like Namjoon said it, and people were like, you did not just say that. Like, he said just chilling with my insert N-word here. And he got roasted for that. That was back in like 2014 though, I think. He knew not to say that no more. Oh yeah, Death Note's pretty good. Fruits Basket, I think I saw maybe the first 4 episodes or so, but everybody's like, oh, this girl's so great. And it's some sort of like repetitive, like things start to get old. Like this girl who's so super nice, even to the mean people, and she breaks down their meanness. I kind of didn't get into it. Do you like Black Butler? I did watch Black Butler. I don't know if I finished that one though. Um, Toby, you may help not them thinking nigga is the N word. I think that's what he meant. I'm not sure, but yeah, I've never heard Korean singers say the N word like in English. I know they say niga and nega, like nega che chalaga, nega che chalaga. But yeah, okay, let me stop. Yeah, what are some other animes you guys have been into? I think the best one I saw last year. Do you guys know the Promised Neverland? That was way better than I expected. I didn't think an anime about children would be really good, but yo, that's my favorite one of the whole year by far. See, some of y'all are going to hate me because I never got into some of the major animes. I never watched Inuyasha. I never watched Bleach, Naruto, One Punch Man, One Piece, Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, a lot of the main ones I never got into. And people are like, what? What? Like, how can you? I think one of my favorite animes though, this one called Angel Beats. Oh my God, it was so good, but I cried like 3 times. And I didn't expect that because it started off so funny and like action packed. And it ended up making me cry. Yeah, ReZero, that's really good. Oh my God, I should make like an anime video. I didn't know if you guys like anime so much too. Dude, going to Tokyo Ghoul, of course. Abby T, yes, Tokyo Ghoul. And then I didn't know there was like a Tokyo Ghoul RE, so I missed that one, and I was like months late to that one eventually. Oh wow, there's a lot. Okay, a tiny underscore Moa and Army for Life. How is the state of your hair? It's actually really good these days. Like, if you guys, the way I wear these wigs, I put my perimeter out on the outside. So like, this is how long my hair is right now to my nipple. But After I went blonde, I really messed up. So I literally cut it like this short at the start of last year, and I think it's recovering quite nicely. um, but okay, have you guys watched Steins Gate? I feel like that's literally my favorite anime, and I don't know too many people who know Steins Gate. Like, there's this guy, I forgot his name. He's like a self-proclaimed mad scientist, and he accidentally helps make a time machine with a cell phone and a microwave and a banana or something, and it ends up setting off all of these horrible time paradoxes. And his friend keeps dying. He's desperately trying to save her life. It's really good. I think that's like my favorite one, and I don't know if too many people know Steins Gate. Vianney Ariola, what country are you in? I am currently in the US of A, under the Orange Emperor, sadly. I cannot wait to vote in November. Oh my God. Um, okay, I'm gonna go for about 4 more minutes. Let's get some more questions out. Monique Roman, I've watched Steins Gate, but it takes a while to get into about 10 episodes until the main girl. Oh, no spoilers. but, but yeah, don't read the last part of that comment. Y'all don't want any spoilers. But yeah, Steins Gate is really good. It's by far my favorite one. By far. Um, a tiny underscore Moa and Army for Life. What webtoons do you read? I don't read any. I've never read any webtoons per se. There was this one that was like a scary one back in 2013 where it's like interactive and you scroll up and she's like on a train and then the person jumps up. I remember that one though. Psychopaths, that was good. Rachel Johnson, do you think idols should speak up about Black Lives Matter? I think a lot of them have, which is pretty surprising to me because I know a lot of people, when they were doing like interviews with Koreans on the streets, a lot of them said they didn't even know what was going on until they saw some celebrities they follow from like America posting about it on Instagram, because they said their news makes BLM seem like it's a violent, hateful thing for whatever reason. And people like netizens online were saying, what about yellow lives? And I'm like, wait, what? So it's refreshing when people do speak up about it. But at the same time, I'm not a fan of commenting and asking them to, because then you're like shaming them into posting about it. You know what I mean? Like if say I didn't post anything about Black Lives Matter, which of course I do, but say I didn't, and people were messaging me like, what do you feel about Black Lives Matter? You should speak up, you should donate, you should do this. And then I finally did it. I mean, I feel like then it's not genuine. It's just me like, fine, here you go. So I don't want to shame people into speaking up. So I'm really glad when they do, but I'm not all for like asking people to do it, you know? Um, yeah, talk about Psychopath. That was a good one too. I like psychological thriller animes the most. Like Danganronpa. That was one of my favorite ones too. Um, Abigail Hayes, what is your favorite Korean drama? I think I mentioned this. My favorite one, it's I hate saying it because of who the guy is, like what he came out to be, because he's beat his wife or girlfriend or whatever. But there was this one I saw back in 2014 called Inspiring Generation. That was really good. And it had Kim Hyung Jung. And then like a few months after that it came out that he like beat his girlfriend and put her in a hospital a few times. And I hate that I like that one so much, but I like more action-packed dramas like K2 with Ji Chang-wook. That's my dude. And that body, oh my God. Yeah, I like more action-based dramas. I think the most recent one I watched, so just to show you guys, I don't really watch animes or dramas too much anymore. The most recent one I sat through, aside from Kingdom on Netflix, I don't know if that really counts as like a Korean drama, but there was the one, Mr. Sunshine. I watched that one. And Yeah, I haven't really been ever. I don't know. I think pre-Korea, I watched nothing but Korean dramas. Once I got to Korea, I didn't really watch as much. For one, I didn't have time to like binge them like I do, and then I just felt like I was living Korea, so I didn't feel like I needed to like watch people act it out in a unrealistic way. I don't know. It's weird. Malu Griho, what? Who is your favorite idol? K-pop idol? Just one person? That's tough. If you guys see, I'm such a fangirl. I got this necklace and it's engraved on 3 of the 4 sides. This side says BTS Army, this side says Agassi, and this side says Mon Baby. And then the side that's blank kind of just like rests on my chest so I can represent my fandoms from all angles. As far as favorite idol, I don't know, cause like that's tough. Like my first one was Taeyang. I loved everything about him when I heard his voice and when I saw him and his smile, and I was like, oh, he's a cutie. These days, though, I like DPR Live, Dean, of course, Kim Namjoon. I don't know. I love Lisa from Blackpink a lot. Like I love her. I literally love her. So that's really hard to just pick one. I can't. Oh boy. Okay, I think I'll answer one more question, and I've got to go because it's almost 4 and I gotta head out soon. Okay, one more question. Come on, give them to me. Send me some questions. Should I scroll up a little bit? One more question. One more question. I see a lot of comments about K2C. Y'all know what's up. Ji Chang-wook he was in with the Healer. He's really good at doing like action stuff, but like slight comedy. But he also said that it takes a toll on him physically, so he's not too into doing that anymore. Okay, I think that's a good question. Abby T, favorite memory in Korea? It's funny, whenever I think about my favorite memories, a lot of them come back to like my students or like a random sweet old lady handing out candies on the bus, but mostly my students. Like my favorite things is I tricked them into thinking that I was Obama's daughter, and they really believed it. And because me and Pharrell Williams, because I'm happy have the same last name, they asked if I was related to him, and I said yep. And they were like, "Teacher, really?" And I was like, "Yeah, yep, really." It's just playing with the kids. Honestly, it's like, I mean, and I was never like someone who's like I love kids or like I don't like them, but after teaching them, I like kids more. But like they never take things too seriously. They're always upbeat. They're always cheerful and funny and goofy and silly. Like if I came to school feeling like tired or just like over the routine of waking up and making lessons and stuff, their random jokes and their random comments just make you laugh. Like routine tends to get boring, but when you teach like elementary school kids, nothing's really routine because these kids always do and say the weirdest stuff. But like when you get the notes from your kids on Teacher's Day and you get little gifts from like one of my kids, the biggest 6th grader in the world, he gave me like this little phone charm to put on my phone and it was like shaped like a gold brick. He said, "Teacher, happy birthday." And I was like, "You knew my birthday? Like, thank you." Like stuff like that, man. I fully enjoyed the fact that I got to teach elementary school kids. I don't know if I would have liked it as much if I had to deal with smart mouth middle schoolers and high schoolers. But yeah. Okay, so I think we're going to call it a day for now. It's been an hour and 48 minutes. I gotta go, but I will be back next Friday. And I'm also trying to plan a Black Lives Matter live stream type of thing. I'm trying to get some other YouTubers on board. If you guys could like leave comments for suggestions, because I've been trying to reach out to some. I usually get ignored, but time zone differences. People are busy. I get it. So yeah, that was it for today's Q&A. Thank you guys for watching. And remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave comments for suggestions and topics. And I will see you guys next time. Annyeong. Bye bye.